Welcome to PDR Tool Time, your industry podcast, tools, reviews, and stories.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of PDR Tool Time. This is episode 140. I'm your host, Vince D'Alessandri, and our other host, John Renstrami, and Daniel Gromi, and special guest, Dave Schaulat.
So like food, I'm going to have a John Renstrami sandwich. It's like
I went to Starbucks. I went to Starbucks and ordered a Schaulatte.
Yeah, an extra grande Schaulatte.
They, you know what they told me? They told me I couldn't order that until March.
Oh, well,
and it would be green.
Anytime you get the grande Schaulatte, though, you end up with, what is that, Dave? A whole lot of Schaulatte?
A whole lot of Schaulatte. I'm seasonal.
A Schaulatte is what happens when you have too much caffeine.
It's not available in grande.
Yeah. A Schaulatte is what happens when you have too much caffeine and you end up in the bathroom.
Oh, God.
The great news is my nickname used to be a little bit more Polish. They used to call me Schaulatte, but now it's Schaulatte. That could be French, Schaulatte.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank you for tuning into this episode.
Le Châtelet.
Oh, Châtelet. Sorry. So this episode covers a lot of ground. This is segment 3 of two other ones, which is 129 and 133. So go back and listen to those episodes if you want to follow along with
third installment of the Wholesale series.
Wholesale series with Dave Schaulat. Yes. And we want to thank you for tuning in. This episode is brought to you by Daniel,
Hog Glue, Mobile Tech RX, Magnatech Mat, and Edgy Tools.
Edgy Tools. What do you think of that knocker, Daniel? Did you get one yet?
Dude, okay. So I finally got the knocker. I don't know why it took me so long to get the knocker, but I finally got the knocker. But
it's your old
knocker. The knocker is the killer knockdown tool for eyebrows, highs, smiles, whatever you want to call them.
Now, are you using it on a hammer, or how are you using it?
I'm using it on a tequila knockdown.
Nice.
I think it's the perfect marriage for that.
Okay.
The odd man out.
And you guys are using it where? On a hammer?
Blending hammer.
Okay.
18-inch blending hammer.
I'm going to try that tomorrow.
I have it on an 18-inch Drew's blending hammer.
Nice.
Shout out to Drew Lechtenberg. And it is phenomenal, Daniel. You're so correct. Good things about the knocker tip. It's amazing. It's mirror polished. Comes out of the box ready to go. It's a fantastic tool from Dave Stream.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So if you guys don't know, go to pdrtooltime.com, and there is actually a promo code on there for 15% off anything you buy on Edgy Tools right now. And
what?
Yeah. And dude,
that's insane.
Check this out. It's not just Edgy Tools that he has on his site. He carries all sorts of different companies' tools. So 15% off is great. And to be honest with you guys, it does benefit us here at PDR Tool Time.
I heard he even has a Steinliner pirate hook on there.
He probably does have several Stanliner tools. So,
yeah.
And it's a way to help us out here at PDR Tool Time, because obviously we're here week after week after week after week after week with no pay. So we do get a little bit of...
It's important to support the tool manufacturers in our industry.
Exactly. And if you go through Edgy Tools, you'll support us.
We got to pay for the bandwidth, man.
Yeah.
This ain't free.
This ain't. This entertainment comes at a cost to us only.
A lot of Schaulatte.
A lot
and
of
big or
Schaulatte.
small, what Dent guy doesn't like a knocker?
All right.
That's right.
Yep.
A quick interruption here. We had technical difficulties with the recording of the podcast, and we had lost the first minute and a half of the podcast. So without having to edit any more of the content out of the podcast, we are going to resume right where it had picked up. Here, Dave is talking about wholesale pricing and referring to the previous 2 episodes. So without further ado, here's the rest of the podcast.
Right?
Yes, you free your time up to concentrate on accounts that actually provide you and respect your time and ability. And again, you go back to the first wholesale podcast we had. You're defining your parameters on volume before they even get this wholesale price.
Yeah,
$305. Are you kidding me? That's a car and a half, 2 cars.
yeah.
The first question you should jump back on a guy that's hammering you on prices. Hey, get your volume up, and then maybe you get some pricing.
Yeah,
but your volume not there.
Or ask him why are you beating me up? We're in the business together. Why are you beating up somebody that's inside the fence with you?
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Why are you taking me on? What in the world? We're not. It's us versus them, not you versus me. Us meaning myself as the vendor, or us.
That's like
the provider as the vendor
stuff there, Dave.
Yeah.
But it's simple, isn't it, Daniel?
Yeah.
Right. I had a guy. This is a true story. Yesterday afternoon, I was sitting in a chair at a body shop, and I kind of kicked back a little bit because I've got a good relationship. And there are a couple of guys that are the sons of the owner that run the place. And, I don't want to call him the old man, but the father figure who still has the reins, and hasn't relinquished all control yet, says to his kid, who's really the operational guy, says, "Hey, PDR bill, I hate talking money here. PDR bill is $8,000 this month." And he says it within earshot of me. And I looked at him and I smiled, and I register and I hear everything. And I keep going on with my conversation about the car I'm there to repair. And then the kid says, "Yeah, I think we probably had a hail unit or something in." And I looked at the old guy and I thought, man, what I really need to jump up and say to you is, hey, you should be ashamed that your bill's only that much, because you're making margin on everything I do in this body shop. You should want your PDR bill to be the highest vendor possible.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's margin in it. But again, you've got that line of thinking where, it's an expense, but it's not, because the couple of hail cars I did, I kicked them 30 points back. Don't shoot me for that, John, but I wrote the sheets. They were written right, so I gave them 30 back. And they did the 25% sublet vendor markup. They had a 55% margin on these cars. And the guy's bitching about an 8G PDR bill. And I had two hail units and a handful of just normal, wear and tear stuff.
That's a business that's run by somebody who doesn't understand profit and loss.
No, I disagree with that. But he doesn't understand the value of what PDR brings to the table and is underutilizing it.
Right. Well,
then does that mean you're not doing your job and educating him?
Yes,
but
it does.
He has nothing else that provides him that profit level in that shop.
That's correct.
Nothing.
That's correct.
And at any time, if he had an accountant look at all of that, the first thing that accountant said was, whoever that is, find them more work.
Get them more. Right. Absolutely. Now, Daniel, to your point, yes, I'm guilty of that. However, it's a convoluted family business. And so there are 3 cooks. There's 3 cooks running the kitchen.
Yeah.
And you might not even be able to get to the top chef.
Yep. I've been in that shop, and when the old man retired, then it turned into a profitable account.
Yes. Yeah, and I get it. I can appreciate the appearance from 30,000 feet. I get it. I'm writing a check to one vendor for that amount of money. That's a lot.
Do you think that they have the view? They have the view that we're at the bottom of the barrel. We're just PDR techs. We're just fixing dents, because that's the impression. That's the one thing that it has always hated. I've always hated about wholesale is feeling like I'm second fiddle, or I'm a second class citizen walking in there working on the cars. The lady that's going there putting prices on the windshields has more respect than the PDR guy, which I could never understand it.
Right. And again, it's an education. It's a slow turn of the ship.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's all a part of it, isn't it, Vincent? Okay, we'll weather the storm today and be beaten down and the old stepchild, but it'll come back around again with a little perseverance. And I think I've got a couple things here on episode 3 of this third installment on wholesale pricing that hopefully can help resound what you do, and give a definition to what you do and what you bring to the table.
Sure.
Okay, let's dive into that.
Yeah,
Dave.
let's do it.
So I got a couple of things, and we're gonna, this is, I'm not trying to be scattered here, but you've got to have a couple of tough mentality and thick-skinned approaches here, because when you go in, oftentimes you're going to be told no. And I'm not going back to the inception, but perhaps you get a new manager. You've been ingrained in the account, and you get the old, well, I've got my guy, or we're thinking about making a change, or you get eaten up, like Daniel said, by the guy who says, this guy keeps pulling my chain on price. So you've got to have this bull in a china shop mentality. And what I mean by that is you're going to get told no. Somebody's going to come in, they're going to ruffle your feathers, rattle your cage, tell you your price is too high, they got somebody else, etc. But you've got to have this bull in a china shop mentality where even after you're told no, you move forward and you say, that's fine. What day is good next week for me to come by and walk your lot? You just don't take their little jabs for anything other than the grain of salt you're throwing over your shoulder. The heck with it. It's not personal. It's business, and they're trying to improve their bottom line and
glass over what they're saying and ignore what they're trying to get by you.
They're trying to poke the bear and see if they can get a reaction out of you.
I like what John said earlier. You go into the deal. What did you say earlier, John, about a hail job, that you're willing to give it up?
Yeah, I'm willing to walk away.
Yeah.
If you're not the one willing to walk away, you're owned by the other party in the negotiation. The walk away on our end is that's it. There is no level after that. So if you're always willing to walk away, but hearing the word no, and I'm going to give this credit to a friend of mine, Matt Lee. Him and I showed up in the town together, and we were going to be knocking on doors and selling our services. He says, my goal is to hear no at least 10 times today. I'm like, what?
That's how he knows he's doing something right.
You're crazy. He's like, yeah, the 11th one, I want the yes, but I want 10 no's first after my best sales.
You know where that came from, right? Zig Ziglar.
All right.
You have to have 7 no's to get 1 yes.
Yeah.
That's the formula. It's like the 80-20 formula.
But it changes your mentality when you go in on that, because you're prepared to walk away at any point.
Yeah. You're in the power position.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And the way you define that power position, as you continue on your relationship and you've set your parameters and raised your prices, your customer doesn't know what they don't know. Oftentimes you're going to get a guy that sits behind the desk. You've got to explain to them what it is you do. You've got to explain what's on the lot, what kind of damage they have, and what they're missing / getting from from a current vendor or perhaps a competitor or maybe someone you shared a lot with. You've got to sing your own praises that way. But that's why I say you kind of be in the bull in the china shop mentality. You've got to sing your own praises. Listen, how come this big dent is still out here? Is your guy not capable of that? But you set that tone, and then you carry that on. You carry that through your account. I don't care what it is. It could be a dealership, a body shop, a buy here, pay here lot. It could be a relationship with an insurance company, any number of things. But you've got to explain what it is you do and set that standard and carry on. But then that's going to get contagious. And you're going to do that throughout. And you're going to be the hero for the salesman at 4:00 on Friday when you bail them out. And so now you've got an ally. You're going to be the hero for the service department when you bail them out on the hood that they shut the wrench on. You're going to be the hero at the body shop for the ding that happened when the guy was power washing and the wand hit the car and they got to deliver it. You sing your praises, but now all of a sudden you've built all these accolades and all these people that are going to help you when the going gets tough. Does that make sense?
It absolutely does.
You're covering all the bases, and I know this. I know this has been said before, but you literally have to know everybody from the people that sweep the floor to the people that sign the check.
Yeah.
If possible, unless it's a big conglomerate.
Be friends with everybody.
Absolutely.
You have to be that chameleon and get along with everybody.
Know people's names. Say hello. Hey, how's your kids?
Absolutely. Be willing to help any one of them and bail them out, because they'll bail you out and have your back when needed.
They're all your best salesmen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so then, that goes into a couple of other things that I don't know that we always think about necessarily, and some of the things are shunned a little bit, but think about the leasing department at a dealership. Who's approached them? And perhaps they sell a warranty in conjunction with the finance department.
Sure.
So the leasing piece may be hit and miss, and it may coincide with a potential Dent warranty that's being sold. But at the end of that lease, what's going on? And are the dealers trying to attract these customers and get them back in to re-up? Absolutely they are. And sometimes they'll waive that damage that's on the vehicle. But if not, there's an idea and an approach that perhaps you can bring that customer back in at month 32 on their 36-month lease, and we do a preliminary walk around and find out what kind of damage is there.
Yeah.
So as an idea, then you're anchoring yourself and you're providing additional value for the dealership to their customer. We're looking out for your interests. Yes, we're going to take money for doing the dent repair, but you're now exploiting yourself to another department in the dealership.
Well, and
same thing with service drive. So, go ahead, Vince.
You just brought something up that dawned on me, because it's something I do out of my retail facility, is that people bring in lease returns all the time. I'm right next to a big dealership group, Audi, VW, BMW, Volvo, whatever. So people come to me after they get their reports. They'll go and get a preliminary report, and then they come back to me. Well, what about making that at the dealership? You come in for a preliminary report, and we're good, because really, once that car is turned in on a lease, it's not like the dealership is doing the recon on it. It's going to a recon facility, right?
Sure, exactly.
So you could actually use that as a marketing strategy to get some extra work and get the repairs on the car before it gets back into the leasing program.
And solidify yourself in that account when going gets tough. You've got another accolade in there. You've got somebody else singing your praises.
Yeah.
Same is true. And again, you could run it through the service department and help them as well, along with your normal service drive work that we've all talked about. But again, you're going to create these advantages for yourself, but you've got to split it and give the margin. You've got to provide some margin to your customer, and there you're going to build in the value and why they need to continue to use you.
Sure. Now there's a program out here that's being advertised all over the radio right now. Galpin Ford. They're the largest Ford dealership here. Actually, I think it's the largest Ford dealership in the country.
They're pretty darn big. Yeah.
They're huge. And Chris Brown, which is a fellow Dent tech, he's on the boards. He handles the whole Galpin family of dealerships up there in the valley down here in Southern California, and they advertise free dent removal, and it's on the radio all the time. And as soon as I first started hearing it, I called up Chris. I'm like, "Oh, dude, you got to be pissed off at that free dent removal, because you're going to get screwed, man. You're going to have to fix all these cars for free or dirt cheap." He's like, "No, they're actually." When you buy the car at Galpin Ford, you pretty much have to buy the insurance to get that free dent removal. So it's not really free. They're just running it all through Dent Zone. So he's actually he's doing like 15 cars a day warranty repair at the dealership. Yeah. And it's all being run through Dent Zone. You got to figure Dent Zone, they're probably rolling over like, you sons of bitches.
Sure. Well, the group Fletcher Jones.
Yeah. They're out here too.
So Fletcher Jones has Mercedes in Chicago. Yeah. They advertised 1 penny dent removal.
1 penny, huh?
Yeah, there was a deal going. It was a penny or a dollar, something like that, know. And but again, they ran it through their warranty piece, and made the math work.
Sure.
Yeah. And again, why not hit on the warranty piece and get those customers back in the dealership instead of us chasing it down or getting frustrated? If I'm what did you say his name was, Chris? If I'm Chris.
Yeah, Chris, yeah.
And I've got these claims coming back to me, but I'm stationary. I'm fat, dumb, and happy taking Dent Zone claims all day.
That's what I do. I got a retail shop, and I said, yeah, we don't do mobile warranty claims. You bring it to the shop, and we'll do them all day long.
Sure. And Dent Zone's good. They pay, and it's not.
And they're a little bit flexible. They will upgrade on the Dent.
Yeah.
Yeah, they upgraded for me, and I went mobile for a guy that was about 95 miles north. And they couldn't find anybody to service it, and I said, I'll fix it, but pay me a reasonable amount, pay me my mileage and fuel and a little extra for my time. And they were all over it. Absolutely. Thank you so much for doing it. So the warranty thing, whether you love it, hate it, depending on the warranty administrator and the company, I'm not going to go down there, but whether you do or don't like it, you ought to do it and do it through the service department and get decent money for it, and maybe even provide a margin to the service department. It's possible to do when they word it correctly.
Yeah, you got to know the insurance company. Like
Absolutely.
You guys deal with 3-in-1?
No.
3-in-1 is the best.
Okay.
I call them up and say, hey, this is Dent's on the buying line. It's 3 inches. I need $320. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, it's another way to lock the company in with your customer. And now you're providing the total package. You've got your arms around that account. You are protecting, and you have all the bases covered by doing that. You're an asset to that organization now, not just the expense or the second, fiddle viewed upon as a Dent guy, like you mentioned earlier, Vince.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're singing your own praises, and you've got to do that to everybody and explain what you're doing. I don't care if it's a general manager, a guy sweeping the broom. Hey, this is what I do. Did you hear about what I did the other day? Hey, did you hear I bailed out? Oh, I'm also doing this warranty claim, but there's also a 25 or 30% margin for the department that I'm doing it for.
Sure.
All of a sudden, hey, super. I like seeing this guy around. A lot of, again, you come back to it, and a lot of the management are like, oh, here come the vendors marching through again. They're just wanting money.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm here to help you make money as well.
Exactly.
You keep pointing out that you're making them money.
Yeah.
They came in for a warranty repair, and they got an $85 oil change because they had to leave the car all day for me to come and do it. Whatever.
Yeah.
The brakes were done.
Exactly. Yep. And then, that comes on to, these guys that are very conscious, and I can appreciate that 30,000 foot view, thinking that, hey, we think you're an expense, you need to lower your prices, et cetera, or even they have a tough month. I'm sorry, I got a little sidetracked here. Or even if they have a tough month on sales, and they have this mentality that, wait a minute, there's an expense, you're too expensive, we've got to cut back on reconditioning. That's absolutely, if you hear that nonsense out of the used car director's mouth, that's absolute nonsense.
So what do you do? What do you say?
The worst thing you can do is fall into that line. Oh, we lost $100,000 last month. Sales were down. We were projected to sell 200 cars, and we only sold 80. So we've got to cut back this month. We can't spend all the money on reconditioning. Wait a minute. How does that make sense? Next month, your sales are going to be even worse because your cars look even worse. You didn't spend the money. That's absolute asinine thinking on the dealer's part as an excuse as to why they want to take the cars off your list on a wholesale gig when you're doing used cars. Don't fall for that, because the month after, the cars are going to look like shit.
Yeah.
You've got to continue on. So in the time when the sales go down, that's even more a better time for us to sing our praises, that this is what we're here for. We're here to help you with your downtime, and now's the time to make the investment in your inventory.
Yeah.
But that's where having this some of the salesmen on your side really help, because then they go to the sales manager, man, I'm having to sell the crap out of these cars because they look like ass.
Yeah.
Without question.
I'm having to overwork them. We need to get the recon back.
But you've set yourself up for that through your accolades during the previous, 2 months, 3 months, 10 months, 10 years, whatever your relationship is. You've set yourself up, and they know they can count on you to do that and be the hero and provide them with quality vehicles that are clean and good looking.
Absolutely.
And and this isn't only Dent related. Obviously, if you're a paint technician, now that everybody tunes into each other's podcasts, but any mobile vendor, this is. I love when the guys say to me, "Oh, we can't spend money this month." What? Let me see your advertising budget. Did you spend another 100 G's this month in the newspaper and print and media, radio ads? Yeah. How come you didn't cut there?
Sure.
It's all relative in that respect.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. What else you got for us, Dave?
I got one more thing, and it's a quick little analogy and a play on words, or a what do they call it? An acronym.
Uh-huh. Oh.
And it falls right in line. And again, this is kind of the third installment, as John says, and I'm not out of material, but this is kind of the recap and the whole thing. You're putting your arms around your accounts. Your final little piece that I'd like to give everybody is what I call FAB, F-A-B. Foxtrot, Alpha, Bravo. What are the features? That's what you do, what you offer. What are the advantages that you're giving your customer? And then what benefits are they going to take away from it? So you've got to you got to give them your features, the advantages, and your benefits.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, so features, what? You're on time, you're here once a week, twice a week.
Whatever the features are, whatever you offer. If it's a
Excellent
mobile
repair.
call out, if your customer needs it on a WEO, you're there 3 times a week, 10 days, whatever the features are.
Right.
Features could be any number of things. I give you a great price based on volume. I fix bigger dents. I'll sand and buff paint scuffs off. I'll do a little touch up at the service drive if need be. Whatever your features are that you can showcase to your customer.
Accentuate them. Let them be known.
And accentuate. Yes.
Get them out there.
And then what advantages do they get from that? You know, the advantage to me going out on a WEO or a due bill to the customer's home is they're the hero. They're getting it done at the customer's convenience. I schedule it at the customer's convenience, and then the rest is history.
Sure.
It's easy, and they're the hero. I'm the guy that goes and does the grunt work, and they're the hero.
Yeah.
And the benefits are the benefits. It's what they reap, whether it's margin on percentage on service drive or the customer coming back on, hey, thank you very much for having your vendor come to my house.
Sure.
Whatever it is. I mean, it's a widespread thing. You create it, but then you sing it yourself. But that's your quick acronym and something to run with.
And really, the benefits are endless. You know, we all know the benefits of PDR, but
of course, yeah.
It's like making a list of those benefits and just reminding them of those benefits.
No paint work, no Carfax, no insurance.
Not losing the car for 3 days, 4
nothing.
days. Yeah.
Whatever it is.
We all get in that rut. We forget those things.
Do we?
Right. Well, some of us.
A lot of guys
Well,
do.
if we do,
Yeah.
and hey, I'm guilty.
You gotta remind
I forget
yourself.
things all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a reminder then.
You know?
Sometimes I have to remind myself of that. You know, you get down, you're doing a bad one, it's driving you nuts. It's like, this sucks. And it's like, you know what? I'm killing it. The place I'm working for is killing it. Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, this is one of the greatest benefits of the job. I mean, just the other day, you know, talking about being the hero. Body guy dents the door on a Toyota, putting a roof on. Car's in the booth, they're getting ready to paint it. And I go in the booth carrying my little limited suction cup light. So I'm like, yeah, I got this bad boy. Fix it right in the booth before he sprays the roof. It's done. Now the car just gets painted, gets put together, and goes off to detail.
No downtime in the cycle.
Nothing. No loss of time.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
How does your door get dented when they put a roof on? It's always my roof rails that get redented when they cut the roof off and put one on.
This was on an SUV, and you could tell right where he hit it with the stool. Yeah, I do. I've done plenty of rail dents and cleaned up the rails afterwards because of the elbow marks.
Yeah.
But
Twice. Yeah.
do that, you know, rescue
And
all
that's a no-brainer. You know, again, there's an advantage, a feature and an advantage and a benefit. Hey,
Yep.
my guy's here. He's done the work. He's going to warranty this and take care of it for us and make it go away. Yeah, it's our fault. The body man can buy him a grilled cheese sandwich later on. It's, you know,
Grilled cheese.
water under the bridge. And it's an easy one, though, to rectify. But we've
You're
all...
giving out grilled cheese sandwiches, really?
Yeah.
God, that sounds good.
But you're doing that at your dealerships with the service department, their body shop, the mechanics. If you're providing those benefits to all of those guys, rescue them. I mean, a dropped tool. I fixed a rail because a body guy dropped a tool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, when you do those things, you have to sing your praises. You know, you may get a phone call from the technician, you might get a phone call from the service advisor, but it might not go farther than that. And unless the service manager or the service director knows, or somebody in a position of authority and power knows what you did, it's going to go unknown. And they're just going to think, oh, the dent guy's here and he's taking another $100, you know?
Yeah.
But hey, the fact of the matter is I'm here, I didn't charge you, and I'm rectifying a situation.
Sure.
Yeah, let them know you just saved them $500 from get that spot fixed.
You know, and there's a way to do it. You know, there's a way to do it without being arrogant or coming across as
tactful?
cocky. Or there's
Are you saying be tactful? I'm a dent guy.
The great Dave Schaulat is saying you have to be tactful, right, Vinny?
Yeah.
Vince is smiling ear to ear.
Don't we walk into the body shop being the only stormtrooper in red?
You mean the headliner's not down yet? Well, call me when it is. No, hang on. Let me help you. Do you need help with that?
Yeah.
You know, can I help you with that? And get all sorts. But yes, of course, with the headliner in the body shop.
I have a funny story about that too. You know, I serviced it.
Does it involve me?
No, it doesn't. But
it's not a historical story.
You know, I don't know do we all kind of walk in there like we own the place? I never felt
Yes. Yes.
You have to have confidence, Vince, when you walk in.
Right.
Yeah,
because
I walk in with
Not cocky, confident.
I'm comfortable in a body shop.
Well, I've never thought I was really cocky about it. I just walk in and I know what I need to do and I get the work done. And if I need a bay or if I need this or I need that, I just jump on it and take care of it myself. Well, I had this dealer or this body or what was it? A detail shop that I serviced for like 10 years and it changed ownership. And he didn't like me because I walked in there like I owned the place, was his words. And, you know, I'm 5'9". He finally came up to me to talk to me about it. He's all shaken. And this guy's covered in tattoos from fingertips all the way up his neck and everything. But he was a successful guy. You know, I'm not judging him by his tattoos or anything like that. But you wouldn't think that he was a successful guy. He looked like he was a little bit rough around the edges. And he came up and he's all, you know, shaking because he has to confront me. He's like, you know, I just don't like how you come in here and like you own the place. I go, well, it's perfectly fine. There's other Dent guys out there. You can find another Dent guy. And that was it. You know, he's like, oh, yeah, I guess, because he was throwing me under the bus for like 3 months, giving me these train wrecks. I'm like, dude, I can't fix a side swipe. Well, can't you just make it look better? No, I can't make it look better. So between that and the fact that I walked in there with confidence, he didn't like me. And it's really strange because I rarely run into people that don't like me. I think I get along with everyone.
No, I didn't like you.
Yeah, that's true. You didn't like me.
You remind me of that all the time.
Yeah, at first you did not give me the time of day. Yeah.
Kid
now
rock.
I love Vince.
Yeah.
No, I love it.
So
Just
you
doesn't answer
grow
my phone.
slowly. You're just
He's like moss.
You're a fine wine.
Yes. Grow better with age. I get it. I grow
Quality cheese. Little strong on the nose, but you're really well worth it.
Oh,
Kid Rock sings a song, and you know the lyrics. It's not being cocky if you can back it up.
Right. Well,
right?
And Dave, you knew me back in the day when I was 20 years old and doing this. I was
22 and doing this and cocky as all.
Yeah. And, you know, I was the little rock star with my dyed hair and tattoos and just, you know, acting.
Was it a Red Ranger or a White Ranger that we had back?
I had a Red Ranger.
Red Ranger.
Yes. I think you had a White Ranger.
Good, Vince.
Yeah. Well,
you are good. Not were. It's not past tense, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a handful of us that were very good very quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm not patting myself or you or anybody on the back. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And by saying that, it's not being cocky, but we started so long ago, but we gained this knowledge and ability and honed it and could outperform the competitors and a lot of our own peers.
Damn it, Dave, you deserve it, right?
Well, no, I don't deserve it. I think I've earned it.
You earned it.
You earned it, and you
No,
deserve
I've earned it.
No, you earned it.
No.
You deserve it.
Again, you got to be tactful. There's a tactful way to put it.
There it is.
Yeah.
So I had a body shop that I've been serving for a long time, and the guy's an old redneck guy, and he goes, and he always complains about my price, right? And he goes, "What the hell, man? What do you charge an hour?" And I go, $326 an hour. He goes, "What?" And he goes, "That's the same price my lawyer charges me. So I have to keep up with him." And he goes, "Yeah, but he went to school and and I go to school every friggin' day. I've been going to school for 26 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I make people happy. Lawyers make people miserable and hate them. People like me when I'm done with their job.
Right.
So why wouldn't I be worth that?"
Yeah.
We have a tangible product. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Yep.
Tangible.
Yeah.
You can see it. You can touch it. You
Yep.
can feel it. We have a tangible product.
A tangible
That's what's
service or
so-
product?
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
our service is our product.
Okay.
Same thing.
Yeah.
You have a dent. We remove it. We don't repair it. We remove it.
Yeah.
It's gone. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see that. You
Yep.
can't see the
You
oil
walk away
change.
noticing the difference.
You
Yeah.
can't see the oil change. You can't see the brake job. You assume the belt was changed. And unless you know what you're looking for,
Yeah.
most people don't have a clue. They just take the word for, okay, we got a new belt.
Right.
Whatever. You know what I mean? From a service aspect. The body shop has a tangible product. The car was crashed and now it's put back together.
Yeah.
You know? The
Yep.
duct tape is holding the airbag back in the steering wheel. It's great.
It's perfect.
But we have a tangible product. That's the beauty of our industry. We have
Yep.
something to showcase. Why shouldn't we get 165 an hour labor rate or 320, Daniel? Good
Sure.
for you.
320.
Point being, I go 165 at the Mercedes dealer. You know my point. As a comparison, yes, Daniel, you ought to be. Vinny, tell him what I told you years ago about hourly rate. That's what we're doing rentals and how many cars you book out, how many panels you do. Where do you end up on the hourly rate? Daniel's on the money.
Yeah, about 300. Yeah.
You end up at that $300 to $400 mark, and I'm not. This isn't boasting. It doesn't happen all the time. You're not booked solid that way. It's like customers tell you no, they don't show. It happens, but when you average it out, and certainly in the hail business, John, you know this. It's a good industry now. Hail's another entity where you can't. It's not going to be there all day, every day.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
No. And you can't lay down. You got to keep that going and hold your pricing line because, like you just said, you don't earn that amount of money 40, 60, 80 hours a week, every single week.
No.
It's you need the highs to make up for the lows. That customer that wasted your time where you drove an hour because there was a car wreck and you were sitting in traffic, and then you get all the way out there an hour later, it's not fixable. You can't do anything with it, and then you got to turn around, you go back. You just blew 2 hours of your day.
Oh, dude, I almost did pull the same crap on. Well, actually, I had a customer pull the same crap on me the other day. I went out mobile to his job. I'm like, I cannot do this in a mobile environment. It's got to be at my shop, right? And then he's like, okay, where's your shop? Okay, it was a 15-minute drive to my shop. He pulls up. He goes, okay, so you're going to give me a discount because you made me drive to your shop. I go, you're joking, right? I drove to my shop too, and I also sat in an hour to get to your freaking house.
Yeah.
Where's my compensation here? I go, no, there's no discount. But he caught me off guard to the point where I'm like, I wanted to say, get the hell out of my shop.
I just tell them the price is the price.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but when they catch you off guard, it's like, and then the first thing that's going through my head was, how the hell did I get caught off guard?
Right. Yeah.
My responses should be automatic.
Right.
The perfect defense is what you'll hear all the time. It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I hate
Which means absolutely zero.
it means nothing.
It totally
Cancels out everything.
Let's work on some catchphrases and let's work on some comeback catchphrays.
Yeah. Well, anyways,
I had it today.
I got you a discount right here.
right?
I had a Ford dealer call me today, guy I bought my Transit from, and I'm the backup Dent guy, for what that's worth. And I bought a vehicle there, but they're part of a group, and I service the Lexus store. So, I felt inclined to return the favor, and I had done a hail car the day that I bought my Transit. So they called today. Well, it's the first time they called since I bought the Transit 2.5 years ago. And they said, hey, how much for a dent? It's a little flea flicker. You can barely notice it. You got to look at it, blah, blah, blah. I said, listen, if it's no bigger than a golf ball, you need to tell the customer 125 is bare minimum. And I'll come in and I'll give you margin, 25, 30 point margin on that. So what's my price then? I said, look, your price is going to be 25 to 30% less than that 125 mark. So realistically, somewhere $85 to $95, give or take. I said, bare minimum suggested retail price on a 1-inch dent or less in the PDR industry globally is $150. And the guy's like, oh, he was mortified. He was the estimator at the body shop.
Yeah.
A new estimator, I think, and scrounged up my card somewhere. And he was mortified. And again, you've got to be ready for these comebacks. And he's like, so really, what's your bare minimum? I said, 125 is my bare minimum. And that's my suggested retail bare minimum for you to the customer, because I have call out time, transportation time to get to you, et cetera. I was kind of prepared for that one, but you get caught off guard.
Yeah, you do.
Easy to get sucked into it and just lose your train of thought. You go blank.
But see, you went telling him what retail is, and that's going back to our first what we were talking about. Always go retail, and then less your discount. And it's much easier on Mobile Tech RX if you're doing it that way.
Of course.
You're always educate them to quote a retail price to the customer. That's so important, guys. Listen to this. Do this in your practice. Stop quoting wholesale prices.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always quote a retail price. Rule number one. Yeah. Rule number one is get Mobile Tech RX. Rule number 2, quote retail prices.
Yep.
That's probably one of the biggest changes between episode 1 and episode 3.
Yes.
Dave, episode 1, you confessed that you didn't have Mobile Tech RX. Now here we are in episode 3. Huh? What's changed?
I love you, John.
Are you
didn't say that loud enough. I don't think the microphone picked that up.
Are you using Mobile Tech RX?
I love John Renstrom. I love Eric Garvis. I love the other Eric at Mobile Tech RX Command Post as well. He helped me with the glitch on the iPhone XS.
And we are getting this, everything that we've discussed here between these 3 episodes. Mobile Tech RX is working with Dave and getting that programmed into for that wholesale pricing guide.
Into the wholesale pricing guide, yes. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, John, and thank you for doing this. Eric let me know that he thought it would be ready on the update release towards the end of the year.
Yep.
So
right after the first
click on to the pricing guides, and then you'll have the wholesale piece with the size parameters. And then I'm working on a 1-page overview that goes into the notes or the, I don't want to call it tutorial, but into the file section that explains, and then you can, I hope guys can print or copy and paste and then adjust as necessary in their markets. But it's a valuable tool, again, with the volume parameters to enter into that agreement with your customer.
Nice. Oh, we're getting a preview of it right now. Someone's on the beta version already, John.
So John is showing a screenshot of his phone with the wholesale pricing, with the new update.
Yep, it's the very early beta version, and it is.
So you're using the beta version?
Where's mine? I'm digging and looking here. No, I know, but I've got something else though that Eric had sent me. So.
It's not on mine either.
You don't need to know that, John. This is highly confidential.
That's okay. We don't.
I'm calling Eric tomorrow.
I don't do wholesale anyways.
Yeah, what I showed you guys is what's rolling out after the first of the year. Okay. And that is, it's not alive. I can't do anything on it. It's still in the testing, but they sent it out to us owners so that we know exactly, keep an eye on what all the guys are doing and the changes and the upgrades. So I just loaded that actually yesterday, and I just got that and kind of poked through it, but making sure what's in there. We went through the list, and the wholesale pricing guide fell right into line.
Awesome.
All right, guys, we got to close this out.
Yeah, we got to move on.
A little bit late, and I want to thank Dave for doing this with us. Our whole goal here is to get wholesale up. Let's get our wholesale prices up because it helps the retail. It's a bottom up scenario. If we can get the wholesale guys quoting better prices, it's just going to lift us up.
It's going to lift up the whole industry.
Well, and it improves the lives of wholesale dent guys.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot that can be done, and it's not, again, it's not rocket science. It's a guide. You take from it what you will and apply it as necessary and as as is applicable in your own market. But we all get caught out, don't we? We get in that heat of the moment discussion, that kind of, ready, fire, aim mentality. And sometimes you shoot yourself in the foot when you do ready, fire, aim. And so I think that there's just a little structure and discipline and a little direction. And all of a sudden, wholesale actually is a very viable and kind of resurrected part of the industry that you can make a very good living from, but you've got to be structured and disciplined and be ready to fire back at your customer. And you're going to earn some respect by firing back. Running a business, not a buddy system.
Well, thanks, Dave, for coming on again. We really appreciate it. Obviously, this isn't the end all of everything. So we will.
You know what? We'll have Dave back on when Mobile Tech RX launches this whole thing, and once Dave gets to really implement it, and we'll have you
talk us through.
Dave.
Talk us through,
and let us know. Give us a man on the street report of how it's developed in your business.
Well, thanks, Dave.
Certainly. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Awesome.
Well,
good to see you again. Good to talk to you.
Yes, as always good to see you. So this ends our episode 140. And just a reminder, if you missed 1 and 2 of this segment, go back to 129 and 133 to follow along as to what is going on here. So thanks again, listeners. Make sure you leave some comments and give us a call or whatever you want to do to let us know how good we are doing. So, and on that note,
peace, love, and the perfect Mai Tai.
Don't do stupid stuff.
And I still got to come up with something.
This has been another episode of PDR Tool Time.